Tomb Raider Underworld. This is the 8th Tomb Raider game in the series. It was developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Eidos Interactive. So just for a performance comparison, I decided to install this game on my older, slower XP machine just to kind of see how it would run. It's a Pentium dual-core E5800, which is kind of an older chip. It's running at 3.2 gigahertz. This machine only has 2 gigs of RAM in it, but it has an NVIDIA GeForce 210 1 gig graphics card. And this is running the game at 1080p at 60 hertz. Well, it's trying, at least. Don't worry, we're not going to suffer the entire review like this. I just wanted you to see it for comparison. Here's the same area running on a slightly newer Windows 10 64 machine. This has an Intel i7 8700K processor running at 3.7 gigahertz. It's a 6-core processor. It's got 16 gigs of RAM. The graphics card is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 980 Ti with 6 gigs of RAM in it, and it's running at the same resolution, 1080p at 60 hertz. As you can see, it's a little bit smoother, but that's kind of an overkill for this game. So I'd figure we'd finish out the review with this machine. Regardless of what you decide to try to run it on, there's a patch 1.1 available free for download that I highly recommend. So the first thing I noticed about this game is how hard it is to figure out what you can grab and what you can't. In fact, I spent most of the game trying to figure out where I can grab onto something as opposed to slip off of something and die. That kind of seems to be the main puzzle aspect of this game. You'll occasionally hear a little chime. That means the game created a new save point. So after the burning mansion scene, it immediately sticks you on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. So I guess this is what Laura's going to wear on this expedition. Just hit the B button and dive on down. Eventually you'll find some ruins at the bottom of the ocean floor. You'll see some sharks. Your pistols seem to work just fine underwater. Or maybe the spear gun works a little bit better. If you get lost, you have a PDA with a sonar feature in it that's kind of interesting. I haven't really found a good use for it, but it kind of looks cool. In typical Tomb Raider fashion, the game will have you search for parts for mechanisms to open entrances into temples. Look, she's not even paying attention. You've seen one crazy door, you've seen them all. Eventually you'll find yourself on dry land again. So here's where I encountered my first weird game bug. You're supposed to pick up these weights and set them down on these plates. But as you'll notice, when you set a weight down, it just goes flying. So don't bother spending too much time on this. It's actually a setting. All you have to do is go in and turn VSync on. Ah, boy do I feel dumb. So some other archaeologists might take their time and carefully extract any items that they find. But in the case of Lara Croft, that is not the way she does it. One swift kick and bam, take the treasure. There are no shortage of surprises in this game. Time to play more head kicker. The grapple in this game is pretty cool. You can do a lot of really weird things with it, like smashing mollusk arms. More crazy device mayhem. Come on. Let's go. It's like walking a cat. So there's a pretty cool feature called adrenaline moments. They're just triggered by things happening in the game, and they slow it down and kind of give you a chance to react. There's a balancing mechanic that's kind of fun. Whoa. 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 Damn, that was close.
Thor, the Norse god of thunder.
So eventually you find a statue of Thor, and one of his gauntlets is sitting there. You can probably see where this is going. Man, the struggle with these weights is real. Clever girl.
Clever girl.
So the gauntlet's actually just like a codpiece for your hand, and it forms a light barrier around your hand, creating a powerful gauntlet made of light and Tron. But don't get too comfortable. Here comes SEAL Team 6.
Turn around. Slowly.
Some of these cutscenes are kind of silly, but this was just too funny. Well, it's time to climb that chain. Here's what the front of the boat looks like. Whoops. Check out how this dude died. He was a real stiff at parties. Okay, well, I guess that's just a pretty common way to die on this boat. Alright, let's blow this joint. So the next section of the game is in Thailand, and you'll find yourself getting really good at running around, grappling, and jumping off of objects. Combat is interesting. Sometimes it's pretty good, but it can be mundane sometimes. I am playing in easy mode, granted, but that's just because I wanted to get through the game kind of quick. But it always kind of seems like you're just running around and gunning. There's not really a cover system. It just doesn't go much further beyond shooting things. That's just all there is to it. Some sections of the game kind of drove me crazy. Like this, for instance, you're kind of running and grabbing ledges and moving throughout the level, and it's pretty intricate. You know, like a Tomb Raider game, but it focuses a lot on just grappling, and if you slip and fall for some reason, or you jump to an object that, you know, and you're not lined up right on it, or it wasn't an object you can grab and you fall, it kind of punishes you. It sends you back to the beginning of wherever this little grappling session began, and you have to do it all over again. And I find myself redoing several of these grappling puzzles, you know, 10, 15 times until you're just like, come on, you know, I just want to get through this and be done with it. The blind jumps in this game are pretty horrendous. You'll find yourself standing on a ledge or something and looking at something that you cannot see, so you have to just make a leap of faith. Or sometimes you just don't notice it because the camera angle just, you can't see what it is you're supposed to do. So sometimes she'll look at stuff and that gives you a hint, and that's helpful, but a lot of times it's like there are some camera angle issues in this game for sure. Check out this sweet move.
Never had one lesson.
There's definitely some inspired scenes in the game that will remind you of other movies and things. I was pretty proud of pulling this off. Here's something you don't see every day. I could have done without the motorcycle stuff. I can appreciate a good chase scene here and there or whatever, but this got a tad monotonous and I got bored. Some of the puzzles with the grappling hook were pretty cool. Once you finally get Thor's hammer, combat gets pretty easy. Yeah, eat that. Ooh, yeah. Ugh. Bam. Ugh. Take that, shark. Tell your friends about me. So to wrap it up, Tomb Raider Underworld is a pretty good game. If you're not really a huge Tomb Raider franchise fan, you could probably skip it. But if you follow the whole story arc, this game does tie a lot of things together, and it's worth playing through. It's not really that long. It's fairly well made. I think it was ambitious what they took on. Some of the mechanics, some of the new mechanics are definitely ambitious, and it shows, because things don't always work, I think, the way that they probably intended it. But other than that, I really like playing it. So check out this game and other cool games at texasvideogames.com. Thanks for watching.